I go back to Pebble Beach and the idea that Rory talked about being more of a conservative player. And this goes directly to what we just talked about, the way he finished up the regulation play, the 70, 71, 72 holes. And he clearly had an idea of what he wanted to do. He wasn't going to throw the tournament away, just like he didn't at Pebble Beach, maybe like he did last year at, as you pointed out, the Irish Open, at the BMW PGA, certainly at Pinehurst. He's a better player now. He'll be the first one to point it out. I actually did some stats yesterday. I went back to 2019 when he won here for the first time, and they would be exactly what you would expect they would be. He led the field off the tee. He led the field off the tee, strokes gained tee to the green. He led the field in driving distance, and then was probably middle of the pack when it came to putting, was right around even. Didn't lose any, didn't gain any. That's all he had to do, given how well he was hitting the ball and given what he can do with his driver. This week was completely different. He started the week, I think he only hit 4 fairways on day one. After day one, he was dead last in the field and driving. On day 2, he was close to dead last in the field on driving. He got better as the week went by, but this was a completely different scenario of how he won it the first time around. And I think it's an indication of how he has grown and evolved as a player. He was always looking for, our colleague Doug Ferguson asked him this question. It's been a few years ago. He had hit it in the right trees on 18. We can all envision that because we saw that a lot this week. And Doug's question was fascinating to me. He asked Rory, in this situation, do you look up or do you look down? Which is your first indication? And Rory thought about it, and he goes, I look up. And it was you and I, we're always going to look down because we realize I can't hit a pitching wedge 190 yards, so there's not even any use in me even looking at it. I'm just going to try to bunt it back to the fairway. Whereas I think Rory has been tempered by that in recent years. When he hit it right on 18 today, I didn't even see him really look up. It was always, I'm just going to punch out. Now, granted, he had a 3-stroke advantage. It's not like he had much to really prove at that point, but he is such a different player mentally now. And certainly his putting with his work with Brad Faxon is so much better now. And he has evolved. To your point, the stage he is in his career, I would say that this victory was so much better than the victory here in 2019.
Yeah, I mean, Rory said it himself, and it was clear just watching him over the past 5 days. Like, he had nowhere even close to his A game. I mean, he was barely top 10 from stroke gain, tee to green perspective, and he still won this golf tournament against the deepest field on the PGA Tour. Like, technically, he is a better putter. He's a better scrambler. He's much better, as we saw, not just this week, but also at Pebble Beach. Remember, we shot 65, 66 on the weekend in some pretty difficult conditions at Pebble Beach as well, just flighting his shots, the trajectory, the shot shapes. You know, he just has better control of his golf ball than arguably at any point in his career. But to your point, I think it's also a lot of strategic elements. His golf course management is so much better. Remember when he won at Pebble, he said he's trying to play more like Scotty Scheffler. Well, what that means is trying to make fewer mistakes, playing more disciplined, playing more patient golf. Like Rory, we think of the excitement and the big drives and the towering iron shots and, you know, the birdie barrages he can go on and shoot 61, 62, 63. Like he said, I'm 35 years old. I'm at a point in my career where all that matters to me is winning golf tournaments. And it might not be as entertaining. It might not be as exciting. It might be going against some of the competitive impulses that I have to be more dynamic, but that's not going to lead to more tournament victories. I think what we saw from Rory McIlroy this week at TPC Sawgrass is sort of a template for the way that he would like to play. And so to answer my own question, yes, he is more complete now, Rex. I think he's in better position now than he's ever been to win the Masters. It doesn't mean he's going to do it. There's still obstacles, I think mostly mentally, that he's going to have to overcome. But I think from a technical standpoint and sort of a strategy standpoint, he's better equipped than ever before.
And I think I was a little surprised, actually, and I know he had said it early in the week that the plan was to play at least one more time before he gets to Augusta. He feels like 3 weeks off is too much time off heading into the year's first major championship. So either Houston or San Antonio is going to hit the Rory jackpot. After he won here, though, I was a little surprised, given the fact that you are at a different stage in your life and your career. Your game is pretty solid right now, and I think that's an indication of you're right. He's going to have to go into this week with a completely different mindset. And he keeps trying to reinvent himself. And I always give him credit that he keeps trying to win that Masters, trying to do the one thing that's going to define his career. You said, did he have to win this one? No, I didn't think he has to win this one. I think eventually he has to win the Masters. because that puts you in an entirely different conversation if you win the career Grand Slam. So we know what that means to him. And he's never just sat back and said, well, maybe it will happen. Eventually, I'll get it done. He's always looking for a new, different way to do it, whether that's playing the week before, whether that's playing more on the West Coast, whether that's playing more in Europe, whatever the case may be. He's always trying to come up with the formula, and I do appreciate that.
I think it's not just Rory's excellence, and now he has a signature event as well as a Players' Championship on his resume in 2025. There also seems to, Rex, like there's a window of opportunity here. Scottie Scheffler, who I want to get into here, like tied for 20th at the Players' Championship as he was bidding for the three-peat. Xander Schauffele finished last, dead last, 72nd among those who made the cut at TPC Solid Grass. Ludwig Oberg missed the cut, the 36-hole cut at the Players' Championship. Collin Morikawa has not won since fall 2023 as he has sort of his own demons trying to close out the golf tournaments. Like everything seems to be aligning as it relates to Rory